This is HappyMunkey.
This is HappyMunkey. This is HappyMunkey.
Hello, no one is available to take your call. Please leave a message after the tone.
Yeah, what up, y'all? What's going on? It's Born Majestic. I just want to say, I really appreciate y'all for adding my music to your playlist. I know I haven't been by, but it definitely goes for 2020. I'm following y'all movement, following what y'all doing, and I'm really happy with what I see. So much love to all y'all. Stay big, stay blessed. From one stoner to the next, I see y'all at the Sesh. Peace.
Yes. Today, welcome on the Boulevard. We got a very special guest, everybody. I know I say that a lot, but today is special because this is somebody I've been watching personally before HappyMunkey, before we made Instagram, before we did all that shit. This is somebody I've been watching personally from my Instagram for a very long time. This man has been putting in work, and when I say work, guys, I mean that real grind, real New York grinding, for the culture, for the people, for what this is called the cannabis community, everybody. This man has been traveling all over the fucking world, not only nationwide, all over the fucking world. This is the first black dude I've seen go to fucking Berlin, all right, for cannabis, all right, guys? So I need y'all to understand how iconic this situation is for me personally, you know what I mean? For HappyMunkey and for cannabis in general. This is a real good guest, guys. You want to add on to this
Of course I
intro?
do. This young man is a black entrepreneur, first and foremost. Entrepreneur. He is president of marketing for Peacemaker Ancillary Products.
Yes.
Our brother from another mother. Let's give him a big round of applause, guys. Tarik Budz, Harlem Globetrotter.
Salute.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Always
Happy to be here, fellas.
Absolutely.
So now
my
you
brother.
introduce yourself to the people out
Let
there on the
them know
Boulevard,
where they
Happy
can
Monkey
find
World,
you.
where they can find you, and a little bit about yourself.
Okay. Tarik Budz, entrepreneur. I run marketing in America for Peacemaker. It's a long story how I got with Peacemaker, but I'm sure we can get into that later. As it was brought up in the intro, I do a lot of global traveling because Peacemaker, we're in 27 countries. So we travel to these trade shows, these festivals, conventions, globally. Anywhere from Barcelona, Tel Aviv, to Canada, to Australia. So Berlin is actually one of my favorite cities, speaking of which. And I'm doing some other stuff later this year, first and second quarter, where we're bringing groups of people with me. So I got with a travel agent, and in March it starts. We're going to Barcelona to Cannabis. I'm taking a group of about 25 people. Put together a nice package. It includes a pretty good
deal
itinerary for you, and plus we have an office there. So we know a ton of people in Barcelona. We do Cannabis every year. So it's going to be an experience. That's March, and in June we're going to Berlin, the Mary Jane Festival.
Mary Jane Festival,
Word.
man.
Word.
So like I said, man, you somebody, like I said, I've been watching on the grind. And, you just by being yourself, just by doing you become an advocate, because now you go to these places where weed is not really tolerated as much.
Absolutely.
And people look at you and they're like, oh, that's Tarik Budz. That's all good. It's all good. You know what I mean? Like, oh, yeah, get that man some weed or something. You know what I mean? Like, so that's a very big deal. People don't understand just by you showing up and being yourself to these places.
Absolutely.
It makes you an advocate because you want to smoke wherever you at, right?
No
Basically,
question,
right?
no
So
question.
people are pretty much like you, like cannabis Snoop Dogg, as far as like, you know what I mean? Because you get to go to these places and people recognize you and they offer you weed. They open up that whole cannabis community to you. You know what I mean?
No
because
question.
you're that. For me and from what I've been meeting you so far, you're that type of person, man. You're very, very welcoming. And you grown folk, be you a triple OG. You ain't running around like these young kids. And
Very approachable.
very approachable, and very well mannered and shit. So again, you somebody that I would say I look up to because again you pretty much the first as far as our community, uptown, Bronx, Brooklyn. You one of the first to move around the way you move.
Understood.
And by the way, ladies and gentlemen out there, Happy Monkey World, also a Harlem native.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So
Harlem's
big.
in the building.
Putting on
Harlem's
for
in the building.
the culture, for the city, and for Harlem, baby.
Yeah, my man, he calls me the Anthony Bourdain of weed. You know what I'm saying? You travel to quite a few places and experience the cannabis.
Absolutely, man.
And to be honest, when I go to these places, it opens my eyes a little bit as to how they view America. Because, as you said, a lot of these places aren't decriminalized. Some of them do have strict laws when it comes to cannabis. So, when I do travel, for me, it's like important to take in as much as I can take, not just cannabis, but, the culture of these different places. Let's say you go to Berlin. Okay. In Berlin, there's a place called YAM. YAAM, as in Mary. It's like this man-made area right in the middle of the downtown. They created a beach because it's on the water, so it's a river though. So they created a man-made beach with sand. They have, street art is really, really big in Berlin. So they have all of these street artists that have all this amazing murals. But it's like you could walk past two buildings like that look like corporate buildings, and you might walk past this place and not even know what it is. But when you walk in, it's like a jungle. It's like, what? But that's where I got Bud when I was in Berlin, largely because they have a large Caribbean community and African community in that part of Berlin, and where YAM is. And I guess for me, when we first went, it was like so overwhelming. Like, what is this place? Like, how did they create this place in the middle of the city?
Right.
But they have 3 bars, a concert stage. They do big shows there. That's where most of the hip hop shows are in Berlin. A lot of them take place at YAM as long as the weather's right because it's outside. When I went to Copenhagen, they have this place called Christianatown. Christianatown, it's like YAM on steroids. It's its own community. It's like 5,000 people that live in Christiana. You go to Christiana. Hey, where's the bud at? You got to go to Pusher Street. You understand what I'm telling you? You go to Pusher Street, and it's set up right there in the street. It's like if you had a stand for fruit, and there's 10 stands on this side and 10 stands on this side, and they're just out there actually selling cannabis on the street.
That's crazy.
Now because they kind of create their own rules. Now sometimes I've seen it. 5-0 comes in, they got to hide and do things, but most of the time, they kind of let them do what they do. When you experience this kind of stuff, where it's actually still not legal, but they go through all these lengths to actually experience it, it's like, damn, like we didn't even do all that. Yeah. Here in America, you know what I'm saying? We might go to a corner and reach in a hole and they hand us a nigga. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It was like really a major, major culture shock. Major.
Crazy, man.
But I loved it. That's where I did the earth bong, where I smoked out of the ground. That was actually, because that's what they used to do. Because a lot of Copenhagen isn't actually city. There's a lot of country. So a lot of people are out camping. It's an outdoor kind of community. So when they go camping, they break their pipe or their bong.
They got it.
And so basically the guy created it for us. He was like, listen, man, there's a tradition here. Everybody does it.
Earth bong.
Yeah, so I was like, yeah, I got to try that. And that was dope because it was all hash.
Oh.
Yeah, I'll be honest, the bud in Copenhagen isn't the greatest. It's gotten better. I've been there 3 times. Each time I went, it actually got better, as if the growing process was like spreading throughout Europe.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because most people think Amsterdam is like the capital for bud in Europe. It's not. You know what I'm saying? Barcelona is actually the capital.
Word. See, I would've
You
thought
learn
the same.
something every day. You see?
Right. I would've
And
thought the
people
same.
in Amsterdam, they'll tell you, Barcelona's the spot.
And that's what is so important that you've done, especially here in New York City, in the cannabis community, which is really like, not as cultured as other places. You bring back all this knowledge and information, and you help the people like us and the rest of the country see
For
that
sure.
in the city that this movement is a global movement.
No
It's
question.
not a local
No
movement.
question. And honestly, I look at that as my role. That's one of my roles in this community, not just for us in New York. It's for everybody that I meet. Like for me, I'm like trying to educate as much as I can. I don't post the videos for clout chasing. I'm doing it so you could understand what's actually taking place in Germany or in
that's
Australia.
how I took it.
You know what I'm saying?
That's how I took it when
And
I was
people
first
tell me that, like, you inspire me.
introduced to your page.
Please
Absolutely.
keep doing that. I really appreciate you. You make me now want to learn and do more. I want to grow differently. I want to travel to Colombia and see what they're doing over there and that kind of vibe. But some places like Uruguay, it's actually legal across the board.
Really?
Every part of it is legal.
I didn't
Every-
know
So it's
that.
basically federally legal over there.
Yes. At dinner, we was smoking. I even handed the waiter my spliff. I'm like, you got to smoke. You got to smoke
Nice.
with me. Word.
That's dope.
Yeah, Uruguay is pretty dope.
That's crazy.
But with legalization, things change. So we were in Chile first, and then we went to Uruguay. So in Chile, it's medically legal. It's not recreational legal. So you can find stuff on the underground. If I say, yo, damn, I just got here. I want something to hold me over. In Chile, you can find it.
Nice.
In Uruguay, you can't.
Really?
Because there's no underground market. The shit is legal. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta go to the dispensary.
You gotta
And
go to the
they don't
dispensary.
even have dispensaries like that. You know what I'm saying? They have growers, and it's everywhere. It's everywhere. So we were on our way to, I think it's called Expo Weed is the one in Uruguay. So we're on the way there, and we're in like a van. So there's like 6 growers in the van with us. Now, one of them had cannabis.
Wow.
I was like, dude, like,
None of y'all niggas got weed.
what's going on? You know what I'm saying? But of course, when we got there to the actual festival, I mean, it was all over the place. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't smoke
Right.
enough. You know
We
what I'm
need
saying?
to help the people understand here Tarik Budz's journey. Can you tell us the first time you encountered cannabis?
First time
and
you
how
got
that was?
high, my G.
We need to take them back so they can understand
Yeah.
how we got to this point.
The first time I smoked, my man fooled us. He got some oregano. It's like, yo, I found something, and we smoked, and it was like a placebo. We were all like, yeah, we're high. We weren't obviously more high. You know what I'm saying?
My man smoked oregano.
Word.
You already know.
Facts.
Yes, sir.
But the first time I got high,
You got the real stuff.
man, because I didn't smoke in college. I was trying to go to the NBA.
You were an athlete.
Yeah, for sure. I played college ball. I played college basketball. So I didn't smoke until grad school, like heavy. Like I dibble and dabble, but
What
Once I
age
got
was
the-
this? What year was this? So we could get a
I
depiction.
was 21. Yeah, 21. That was 95.
So you were literally a late bloomer.
Yeah.
When it comes to smoking. Hard.
Smoking heavy, smoking regularly.
Yeah, smoking regularly.
Yeah, I didn't do it till grad school.
So walk us through that first experience. What kind
The
of weed? Where
90s.
was it? What
Monkey.
what you roll
Well,
in?
obviously, we talking about the 90s, right? So we're not talking about exotics and all of that.
Nah.
You know what I'm
Not
saying?
at all.
We're talking about lamb spread.
People need to understand.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it was some lamb spread.
What was it rolled in?
And it was Philly.
Philly.
It was a
That
Philly. It
sounds
was a Philly.
like the 90s.
yeah, it was a Philly. It was a Philly. And I was actually at grad school, and I guess this girl was trying to seduce me. So she was like, "Yeah, you should smoke." I was
Always
like,
a girl.
I was
girl.
like, "All right, cool, whatever." You know what I'm saying? Of course, I got high as can be, and yeah, she took me to the room. You know what I'm
And
saying?
after that, when did you become like we like to call it a frequent flyer, getting high all the time?
Frequent flyer was in grad school. The second school I went to, because I graduated from FIU, Florida International University, for my master's. But my undergraduate, the first one I went to was in Johnson and Wales in Providence. So when I got to grad school in Miami,
Hold on, though. We ain't just gonna let you fast forward there, brother. We always like to give people flowers while they're here, brother. And we don't got too many graduates from our neighborhoods. And you know, I just want to make that a little highlight before we keep moving forward, my
Salute,
friend.
brother, salute.
My brother. I ain't gonna
Salute.
lie. All right? Okay, we gonna move forward. You know what I'm saying? So they don't think we talking to some regular just hood ganjapreneur.
nah, no question, no
You know what I'm
question.
saying?
Well-educated entrepreneur.
Yes, indeed. So, you know, when I was in Florida, though, in Miami, that's when it became an everyday thing. You know what I'm saying?
Miami, Papa, it's so 420
Miami's-
friendly down there, boy.
Miami's so beautiful. You know what I mean? The weather is just... And I was there for school, so I was moving and shaking. But as we were talking earlier, Vlad, that's when I got into the music business for real, when I was in grad school. My man, actually my fraternity brother, down there, he was working for LaFace Records at the time. And somebody had told me when I got to campus, oh, you're a Sigma? Man, one of your fraternity brothers just brought Outkast here.
Crazy.
So I
Yeah,
was
the
like,
face.
word. So eventually he connected with me. He was a New Yorker. So he was like, listen, bro, he's from Brooklyn. He was like, yo, obviously I see how you get down. You like me, a New Yorker. I love my frat brothers, but I really don't want to include them in my business the way they move. I need you to be on the team. And so we started working Virgin, LaFace, and Universal.
Nice.
So, like, Cool from Cool and Dre, he used to come to my dorm room in my apartment, you know what I'm saying, to pick up records. You know what I'm saying? Khaled came to my apartment one time to pick up records, but he wasn't Khaled yet, right? So that's what my life was then, you know. So I was in the music business, and then, you know, cannabis and the music business just go hand in hand. And then it just became
Any type of art and
full-fledged.
cannabis is usually...
Yeah, no question. Cannabis definitely assists the arts.
What was the highlight of your music industry career when you were in it?
Man, I got a gold record for the group Do or Die.
Okay.
Do you wanna ride in the backseat of my caddy, chopping it up with Do or Die?
Get the fuck out of
Yeah,
here.
they were on Virgin Records.
Ology.
Yes, sir.
That's my
Yes, sir.
shit. Yeah, I
Yes,
remember
sir.
that
Yes,
shit.
sir.
So you were working with Virgin at the time. What role did you play there?
Well, me and my man ran a street team in Miami, so
Okay.
basically we just got shit played on the radio.
Damn,
Got it to all the DJs, like I said, for the clubs. It was wild though, you know, because after I graduated and went back to New York, because I came back to New York after I got out the music business at that time. But when I went back to Miami, the first time, it was like 2 years later, the first time I decided to walk into a club, I took 3 steps in the club and the DJ was like, oh, look who's in the building. I was like, well, damn. You know what I'm saying? I work with a ton of different talent though, because eventually my roles changed in music. I became a publicist. And I would do marketing, which is really the one aspect or asset of promotion that I really love, is actually marketing. So I kind of stuck with marketing over the years, but I've done publicity for Julie and Marley.
Okay.
You
Shout
know what I'm
out to the
saying?
Marleys.
Yeah, I've done stuff for Wyclef. I've
did
dressed.
good, man.
I've dressed a number of artists. I still do. You know what I'm saying? Because some of them are just my friends, and when I see stuff that I know they rock, I'm like, yo, yo, Styles, I'm gonna come up to the studio, man. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. You know what I mean? So over the years, what I did learn was, because music stopped making money.
Yeah.
And so that's when I got out of it. Because not immediately, I went broke first, but you know, eventually
You saw it coming. You know, it was the beginning of the end,
exactly,
and you had
exactly.
to find
I had to get up out of
So
there.
when did you go and jump in the pool of the cannabis industry full-fledgedly?
Full-fledged. Well, Peacemaker actually, well, I guess this is the story. Every year I get a call, or every 5 years for the most part. Every 5 years I get the call, oh, you should come back up to Colgate University for your reunion. And socially, that's not a good place. You know what I'm saying? It was cool. I mean, I played ball. I did some good things. I got a great degree, but socially, it really wasn't the place. Like, it's a small town. There's 2 bars, and people go downtown to the bar.
Yeah, that's it.
And talk. You know what I'm saying?
Sounds like small town USA all over the country.
I'm just saying. So I didn't really want that. So I barely go to my reunion. So one year, though, it was like our 20th, I think it was. And everybody's hitting like, yo, we all going up. You got to come this time. And I was like, well, listen, man, if I'm coming, I'm going to have a party. I'm going to have a party. You know what I'm saying?
You're not going to the bar.
Nah. And so it really turned out that I was able to get Colgate to pay Tony Touch to come up there, because Tony is my friend.
Tony Touch,
Yeah.
baby. Toka Tuesday.
Toka,
That's
yeah.
our brother,
Straight New
man.
York
Yeah,
shit, man.
Toka's my guy,
Straight
man.
New York
Oh,
shit,
man.
man.
I really like Tony a lot, man. You know
New
what I'm
York
saying?
hip hop icon, man.
Yeah, and he's a stand-up dude, bro. You know what I'm saying? He is just a stand-up.
I don't know him personally,
humble,
but everybody has said,
Yeah,
sung the same
super
song you have about
humble,
him.
super humble, bro. To be the legend that we know he is, you know what I'm saying? He is humble. Yeah. So anyway, I hit him up like, yo, Tone, listen, I might have a gig for you, my reunion. He was like, your reunion? Oh, word, let's do that. So his nickname is the Peacemaker.
Oh.
So when we get to campus, it's floating around campus now that Tony Touch is going to be doing a party. So one of the managing partners and owners of Peacemaker Gear went to Colgate. He was there 7 years before me. He's bugging out. He can't even understand. He's an Asian guy, but a hip-hop junkie. I mean, when I say
Hip-hop junkie.
man, oh man, oh
Hip-hop
man, oh
junkie.
man, he's a huge hip-hop. That's what he listens to. You know what I'm saying? So supposedly he's asking around campus who
put this together?
Tony
yeah.
Touch, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so everybody's telling him, and he's like, well, I got to meet this guy. So at the end of the party, everybody's drunk. You know what I'm saying? This is Sunday morning, like 2 a.m. I'm helping Tony take the crates and the turntable to his car. He walks up to me, the Asian guy. His name is Matt.
Shout out to Matt.
Matt now. Matt Swish, salute. You know what I'm saying? Salute to that brother. He is, not only do we work together, I consider him a really good friend. But he came up to me. My full name is Hassan Tarik Brown. So he walks up to me and was like, you're Hassan Brown. And I was like, I looked at him like, okay. Hey, nice to meet you, brother. And he was like, no, shoot, you're not getting it. Okay. I play sports. I ran track.
He tells you?
That's what he said to me. He's like, I ran track. I was like, okay, that's what's up. Did you have a good career? He was like, yeah, but you're not understanding. I know who you are. I was like, okay.
Right, who am I?
You know what I'm saying? And so he was like, wow, okay. He said, some of my friends play basketball too. And I was like, word, that's what's up. What are their names? So we started naming some of the players. I was like, oh, I remember those guys. He was like, well, they actually got your award. How could I not know who you are? I was like, oh, now I understand. There's a Hassan Brown Award. So every year, a Colgate basketball player gets the Hassan Brown Award.
That's crazy.
His friends obviously got the award. So he was like, I can't believe I'm even meeting you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I was like, word, it's great, bro. Nice to meet you.
My man be doing iconic things.
So he was like,
Awards named after you? Yeah. So this one. This is a new one.
That's a big one.
Newsflash, yeah.
Big one you had in your sleeve of arsenals of accomplishments.
So he's like, man, do you know Tony Touch? I was like, yeah, he's a friend of mine. He was like, man, let me show you something. And he pulls out a pipe. And he bent it, and I looked, I was like, what? And then he put something in, and we started smoking. And I was like, oh,
Word.
This is bananas. He was like, listen, we really just launched. We're only on the West Coast right now. And we have a strong tie in Australia. So I was like, whoa, this is dope. He was like, do you know more people like Tony Touch?
Oh, man.
So I was like, well, actually I do. He was like, all right, I'm going to call you on Monday. So the whole trip going home, I'm like, damn, this is pretty dope.
Right.
I've never seen nothing like this. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is definitely new. I know, because I use pipes.
And what year is this?
You know what I'm saying? This is 5 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, 5 years ago.
Yeah, there's no rubber pipes even until then.
No, we were the first
pipes.
to the market by far. And to be honest, our competition, the first one that came out right after us, we manufactured it because Peacemaker is a subsidiary of our parent company, which is Wago Solutions. We're a manufacturer. We're headquartered in China. So when he called me on Monday, he called me from China, and I was like, oh, damn.
It's for real.
Yeah, okay, now we're talking, you know what I'm saying? So then they gave me some product, and they sent me like a box of stuff, and I kind of went crazy, you know what I'm saying? I basically called up all the artists that I knew, especially that smoke, from Styles P to Tony Touch to Khaled, you know what I'm saying? And it changed the whole course and direction of the company. You know what I'm saying? Because there was this celebrity attached to it now. Mm-hmm. Not just one, but celebrity. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And for marketing, it's like, oh, wow, let's do this now because we have that. And so I wish I was looking at my wallet. I don't have one. My business card, the Peacemaker business card, the back of it are all the pictures, you know what I'm saying, that I took with celebrities or had celebrities holding up the pipe and smoking it with them. And we created a poster, and it became like the new direction of the company. And then they were just like, listen, man, you're really good at this, and we really want more. So that's when I started going to trade shows in America first. I would always go to the Champs trade show in Vegas.
You know, it's funny. They just invited me to the Champs ones coming up in Atlantic City.
Yeah, that's the smaller one, and it's cool. It's not bad. It's just not Vegas. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
the one they do in, I think, Denver, it's not that good either. Actually, it's not that good. Vegas is really the Champs that pops. You know what I'm saying? But back then they were really selective. Like, you couldn't just come up with a brand last week and have a logo and get a booth. Even though if you want to pay $5,000, because that's what they cost, you know what I'm saying? No. But they were really, really selective. Now what going off topic, but Champs is just not as selective. I went to Champs last year, and it was like 10 times the size of the Champs that we used to go to.
It usually happens. It usually gets diluted as the
companies
get bigger.
And there was 60 to 70% CBD companies. When I mean everybody has CBD now and it's creating CBD, yo, it was outrageous. It was outrageous. I was like, wow, this is off the chain.
Everybody got CBD.
Yeah, everybody. Shoot, where was I?
So you say you went to your first Champ show on behalf of Peacemaker.
Oh yeah. That's kind of where it started. And they eventually were like, okay. And they stepped back and just let me do everything in terms of dealing with the people. Once they actually taught me all the prices and the selling points and what Wago Solutions really was before I actually went to China to go to our company. Once I got a grip on a spiel and be able to, they obviously know that I talk to people. So, and they feel like you're the one. That's when Mr. Peacemaker came about. Like, you're Mr. Peacemaker. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to talk to these people. You're the ones that's going to bring them in. Yeah. And then when I went overseas, that's when it turned up. It became a thing.
I wanted to ask you, what was your first trip officially going overseas, and what was that like?
The first one was really, really dope. It was Australia.
Oh, Australia.
Yeah. Australia is That's a
Australia.
beautiful place, man.
There's a cannabis scene in Australia.
It's very illegal there.
It's
Very. I got
Very
stories. I
illegal,
got
though.
stories about that, but it's very illegal.
But
But
they
if
find a
you
way.
see, because our distributor there is the man. He's very well connected.
Mm-hmm.
Some of his partners on his other companies are growers, and so we never had a problem. It was shocking to me because I didn't know any better. You know what I'm saying? But when we landed, they gave us a couple of ounces, and it was
they had you
fire.
ready.
It was so fire. I was like, wow.
In Australia, where was the
yeah.
Sydney?
It was in Sydney. hmm
I hear amazing things about
That's
it.
crazy.
It was in Sydney. And so it was so fire, I posted it. Like, yo, check it out, man. Just landed. And I showed it. My DM lit up so much. They were like, first of all, how the fuck do you find weed? In Australia.
In
Yo,
Australia,
so
bro.
many
First
people
of all.
hit me and was like, how did you do that?
God.
And then look at what you're posting. That is gas. I was like,
Yeah.
but I didn't know any better. You know what I'm saying?
This is your first trip.
Word.
First trip all the way literally on the other side of the world.
Yeah, that's a 16-hour.
Oh man. So I know you was happy as
They're
soon as they handed
actually
you that
ahead
weed.
of us by almost a day.
Crazy.
Word.
So you went
Yeah.
into the future real quick.
And, yeah, and so basically, yeah, I did. We were there 2 weeks. We went there for a trade show. Well, not a trade show. This is a festival. It's in the middle of nowhere, like in the bush.
In the
way
bush.
in the bush, way in the bush, and you have to do it that way because it's that illegal.
Some Burning Man Australia
called-
shit.
Yeah.
It's called Mardi Gras.
Mardi Gras.
Mardi Gras. They didn't because I was saying Mardi Gras a lot. They were like, no, not Mardi Gras, man.
Mardi Gras.
Mardi Gras, right? They were making sure I said it correctly. But, all right, there's a lot to this story. So on the way there, or before we go, they're like, all right, listen, we got to leave 6 a.m. because we have to leave before 5:00 is really on
Yeah, that bullshit.
the highway.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going with veterans. They go to Mardi Gras every year. They have a booth every year. The distributor's a really big distributor there. So he sets up this large tent with all of these products. And so we leave mad early in the morning, 6 a.m. We're out. We get there, no problems. We're hearing about all the problems. Now, they said basically they have the right to just wave you. You don't have to do nothing wrong. Just wave you to the side. And they can test you. You pause, you lick something, and it tells if you have cannabis in your system. And they arrest you on the spot, bro.
Like the same kind of alcohol breathalyzer stuff.
On the spot.
I never heard of that shit in my life,
On
bro.
the spot, bro.
They got a liquorizer.
So now, on our way back,
for THC. That's crazy.
we left a little late. It's everybody's sleepy. We were there for 3 days. We're staying at a hostel. It's in the middle of nowhere. There's no hotels. No, we're staying at a hostel, and so
That's crazy.
we eventually left maybe 2 hours late, trying to get everybody and all the teams. And so when we're going back, bro, I saw it then. We got so lucky, fam. We're driving, car in front of us pulls over. We're like, what? And we see a cop that's standing in the street pulling him over. We beat it right past him. It's like, oh, shit. Damn. It could have been that simple, just like that.
Mhm. Right there, 2 seconds.
About 30 minutes later, we're riding. We're behind 2 cars. Cop jumps in the street. Shh. The 2 cars pull over. We act like we pull over and keep going. Word. The whole trip, we were seeing cars on the side of the road with cops, man.
Crazy.
I swear to God,
It
man.
was like the gauntlet.
Oh, man.
Crazy.
It's I tell you what, you know the bud chains, right? So out there, one of the reasons that it's over the top is because, yes, I'm different than anybody. My accent, the way I dress,
Yes.
they love the way we dress, by the way. The accent and the dress, it sticks out. It's very conspicuous. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I would then put 30 of these chains on my neck because I'm trying to sell them. And then I'm also drawing people to the booth. Listen, there would be crowds around me, like a circle. It was astonishing, bro. I mean, it stunned me though at first.
That was your first culture shock.
Like, wow. You know what I'm saying? So 30 of these in one day for 150 euros a pop.
Oh man,
You know what I'm trying to tell you?
Crazy.
No hesitation. No.
Somebody was like, yo, give me two, man. I want two of those.
Oh man,
Right. You know what I'm saying?
So the Australian people in Sydney shows you a lot
they
of
showed
love.
you love. They showed.
Man,
They showed.
and we traveled with Magical Butter. Basically, our company is connected pretty closely to Magical Butter.
Yeah, I heard of
We
them.
travel with Magical Butter.
Let people know what magical butter is. They think it's actual butter. It's
Okay,
not
yeah,
actual
that's
butter.
a butter maker, actually. It's a machine where you actually can use cannabis to create butter. And all the chefs use it. All the chefs use it. Enough where, of course, now there are other companies that have making the same product. But we work very closely with Magical Butter. So they traveled with us to us. We work very closely with their Australian company. The team here, we travel with them in the States, but they have an Australian team. So that team traveled with us, cooked for us every night, infused. Now listen, man, the food in Australia,
Special.
fresh.
Special.
Listen, it's all on the water. They troll every day for shrimp, prawn. The prawn are this big too. They don't have shrimp like we have shrimp. Our jumbo shrimp like this,
Everybody tells me amazing things about Australia.
no, their shrimp are this big, bro.
Crazy.
You know what I'm saying? It's amazing. The prawn there out of control. And then we basically went deep sea fishing because that's what they do. And we were there like I said, experiencing the culture, taking it all
That's what
in.
you go for, man. You
Yo,
go to
dude, we
those-
went deep sea fishing. We were, here you go, my brother. We were on the boat for 4 hours. That's how far we went
Well,
out.
I was deep in the ocean.
And you could see schools of fish getting chased by a dolphin, and it was dope. So we're fishing for our dinner. Do you understand? Now, I didn't catch nothing. I can't fish for nothing. But our dude, none of us did, actually. I mean, we caught, but they won't let you. It has to be like 12 inches
For you to keep
them
it?
you to keep
Yeah.
it. So we were catching like 6, 7 inches. You know what I'm saying? So they kept throwing out stuff back. But of course, our guy, he caught mad fish. His wife's a chef. We went from the boat to then the man who goes every morning to get the prawn. We got the fresh prawn. And his wife cooked. I'm telling you, that lifestyle is just something else, man. It's just another.
How is the architecture and the vibe and the scene over there?
Obviously, in the bush, we know what that is, right? Because that's where the Aborigine are, and that was a really interesting experience too. Because we're out late night, we're partying, we're drinking, we're smoking. It's bush. There's no buildings. You know what I'm saying? It's bush. So we're standing at one of they put a tent up, put a DJ in there. So, we in there at the party. And in the distance, I'm like, wait a minute. Where did he come from? This dude stepped from, like, in the real bush. Like, he came
from behind the bush.
He came from out. And when he stepped out, I was like, did he just go to the bathroom or something? But when he stepped out, he, like, put his chest up and he just stared at us. And it wasn't mean, or it was more like, welcome. Like, we're allowing you to be here. Do you understand? It was kind of pompous, but it was more like, it was kind of hard to explain. So that was the first time.
It sounds
That
like
was
some
the
shit straight out
first
of a
time.
movie. That's what it sounds like to
I'm
me.
trying to tell you, bro.
He gave
I'm
off
try-
this
Ooh,
energy or something.
It was wow.
Mm-hmm.
So then we go to another party, and then I catch one of them. I see him deep because I'm like looking for them now. And I'm like, oh, look. I'm start tapping my boy. And he was like 10 feet, 15 feet in. He just stepping over rocks and climbing through the trees. And he stepped out. He did the exact same thing. He looked at us. He just put his head up and just like shook his head like, yeah, you're welcome, guys.
Mm-hmm.
You're safe. You're okay. You know what I'm saying? That was something else. You know what I'm saying? So going back to the other architecture, we went to 3 beach cities, stayed in the penthouse. We did a trade show. We go to smoke shops. And at night, Magical Butter's cooking infused dinners. You know what I'm saying? And it was amazing. One of those cities, though, looked just like Fort Lauderdale. I swear. And we did some research. It was like, yeah, they modeled it after. There's no way it couldn't, because it looked just like the beach part of Fort Lauderdale, like where Las Solas is. And
I think that a famous beach over there is something called Banzai or something like that beach or something like that.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure.
It sounds
That's
crazy.
like their South Beach. That's what I actually like.
Okay. Yeah, that place was called, I think it was like Beach City or something like that. It was like that simple. One of the most amazing experiences that I've ever had in my life, not just on that trip, was our guy was like, hey, we got a little bit of drive, but I'm going to make it creative. We drove on the beach down to the water. He let the tires down a little bit. And dude, we drove 50 minutes on the beach from city to city, but on the sand.
Crazy.
Dude, like,
That's wild.
Sounded like some doom buggy.
yo, that was
So wild shit, smoking on the beach.
I'm telling you, man, some of the experiences are like, wow, I have to take all this in. Like, I'm so happy that I'm here right now doing just this. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you,
so
brother.
we'd
Thank you
stop
for
every
bringing
once in a
that
while. No problem. We stop every once in a while. We get out, we walk to the water and get some pippies, because that's the bait for the fish we were about to go catch. One of the times we stopped, we started fishing from the sand. You know what I'm saying? Like, just driving from city to city on the beach, bro.
That's wild shit.
Wow. It was wild. It was like, this is amazing.
Yeah, I'm sure he was stunned. He was like, I got Tarik here.
So
let me show.
Amazing.
That was your that popped your cherry with the traveler, and after that, it was off to the races.
Incredible. And because it made me aware of how people would react to me. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, I'm not the average hood cat. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm having a conversation with you, in a minute, you're going to be like, well, what do you do?
Right.
You understand?
Yes.
So that works a lot for me over there, honestly, because I'm different. And then when they actually meet me and experience me, they want to do more. You know what I'm saying?
I don't blame them.
My brother.
So what do you think right now about the current cannabis scene here in America, and specifically in New York, compared to the rest of the world?
Yeah, what you think is happening now, 2020, man? What just your predictions type of shit?
I think they are obviously going to legalize it. I think that's like definitely one of his bullet points right now, like, and it's important for him. So I think they're going to do that. I think that if they're planning, like they said, to actually include local businesses, because that was like one of the things that they had said about the dispensary move, is that they were going to allow businesses that were already in play to actually jump in and want to give it to them first, not the big corporations. That was like Cuomo's whole thing.
Let's see how that goes.
We'll see how that actually goes. I think if it does, that is very dope. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's going to be, just like I said before, you don't know what to expect when things actually become legal. It changes things that you wouldn't understand in advance. Like, it would have to be a hindsight thing. So, like, in Cali, when it became recreational, a lot of companies went out of business.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, a small company, like, say there's a smoke shop in a small town, USA, and it's the only smoke shop. It's been there for 30 years, and now it's legal. And now 10 vape shops come around, corporate, and then that company that's been there for 30 years goes out of business, bro. That's not something that you could have imagined in advance. Do you understand?
Yes.
So there's things that are going to be beneficial, but then there's going to be a lot of drawbacks as well.
There's always pros and cons.
For sure.
But one thing that I do notice that they've done is that they kind of, like, part of the reason I believe that they waited so long is kind of because they're watching everybody else. And New York being New York, they don't want to fall in the same potholes that they did. And they're just kind of watching to make sure that they get it as right as, like you said, it's never going to be perfect, but as right as possible, and have all the other ones as examples.
Absolutely. And I think once New York becomes legal, it's really going to be like a domino effect.
Yeah.
All over.
I think after it goes New York, I don't think it will be too many years until it goes federally legal.
Absolutely.
New York is that influential.
Absolutely. And people look at us in America, they look at that. I mean, they think it's legal everywhere. They're just like, oh, it's legal over there. Right. You know what I'm saying? You guys are the best. I love what you guys have done. You're setting the trend. Hopefully we follow.
Outside of New York in the United States, what is one of your favorite states or scenes or cities in the U.S.?
In the U.S.
As far as cannabis.
As far as cannabis.
Yeah, I just mean like the scene, the community and shit like that.
I like Vegas. I couldn't live in Vegas. I don't really like Vegas, actually. You know what I'm saying? As a city.
You just like the cannabis scene there.
Yeah. I do like what they're doing. Boston is getting there and working, but they have the rally, so they definitely have that push. You know what I'm saying? So they have some really cool stuff there too. Philly was actually pretty progressive. You know, they were
really.
Yeah, when we were launching the Ganja Games, Philly already had they had an event that was about 2,000 people.
That's crazy.
That's why I even met some of the vendors that I actually had at the Ganja Games. You know what I'm saying?
So they have their own community and their own movement going on.
Majorly, but they were reckless. They were a little reckless. They put the address on all of their flyers. They did it for over a year. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But then,
I get it. Okay.
But then, the feds came in.
All good things usually come to an end.
Of course, if you're way out of control, not understanding what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? But Philly also had something. I haven't really been around it since then to see. But Denver is cool. Denver is cool. Yeah, it's cool. I'll be honest, I don't even like the bud in Denver. I like bud from Oregon more than I like bud in Denver.
Whoa.
Yeah,
I've heard that. I've heard that because of their climate, it's kind of hard for them to create.
And I think part of it is too, when you're smoking there, you're in the mile-high city.
Yeah.
You're already. Do you understand?
Yeah, there's no
the atmosphere. Exactly.
High,
so of course you're gonna get high. You know what I'm saying? That bud, you smoke it in Detroit. Yeah, it does. It just
the atmosphere.
You know what I'm saying? So
Dust in the wind.
It's cool. It's fun to go and experience it, and if you've never, I think that was the very first place that I went to, a dispensary, where I just went by myself, got off the plane. The team wasn't there yet. I put my stuff on Airbnb, looked around. Oh, there goes one.
Right.
Show my license. Cop came back and was like, "Yeah, this is dope."
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
It was normal.
Yeah, it was. That was like, for my first time, it was like, yeah, that was dope.
What can the HappyMunkey world and Boulevard expect from Tarik Budz and Peacemaker coming up for 2020? What should they look out for?
Well, Peacemaker, we lightly talked about it earlier. You know, there's a bunch of other brands. There's even knockoffs. Like, we actually have competitors that actually are legitimate brands.
Imitation is the best form of flattery.
No question. There's legitimate competitors or companies. But then if there are four of us, each of us have companies that knock all of us off. And the knockoffs, they can't keep up if you really on your shit. I don't know if our competitors do it as much as we do, but we put out a new product every 4 or 6 months. They can't keep up. They're on like products that we put out like 3 years ago. That's what they're knocking off. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They haven't gotten as far as every year or every 4 to 6 months to keep up. They can't keep up.
Yeah, it's hard.
You know what I'm saying? So I would say for us, just continue to look for that really innovative products that you're really not going to find anywhere else. Like the Quack. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sure if you've seen.
What's the Quack?
The Quack is all of our products start with a K. All right, so from the Conjurer to the Quickie to the Kahuna, they all start with a K. So the Quack is a duck, and it floats. So your bong floats.
A floating bomb.
Word. Shaped like a duck. You know what I mean? And just really well designed. You know what I'm saying?
Ralph looked like he's
Exploding.
interested in the quack.
Exploding. Like it's disappearing. You know what I'm saying? Largely in Europe. Disappearing. People are using it obviously in the jacuzzi and the tub and the pool, and
Crazy.
we deal with a lot of outdoors because that's really what we are, is outdoor. You know, we make outdoor products, stuff that you travel with. You could leave your glass stuff at the crib, but use us when you out in the street, or you're outdoor, meaning camping, skiing, hiking, snowboarding, that kind of thing.
Right.
So for Peacemaker, I would say keep looking for new innovative stuff. For Tarik Budz, one of the things I started this year, as I mentioned earlier, were these tours. So I'm looking to do one every quarter. We're starting with, I think, between 20 and 25 people. It'll probably increase as we go. But
And what is the first trip?
March 11th through the 16th to Cannabis. Now,
Ramon, we might have to, you know what I mean? I don't know, man. We might have to figure out if we get down with the tour.
I'm just saying, it's going to be dope. It's going to be very, very dope. Because I got a lot on my sleeve that, you know, I'm not even putting in a package, but it's going to be in your itinerary.
Right.
And there's so many perks that Peacemaker and the companies we work with already have, that there's just going to be so much stuff that people are going to walk away with that they just didn't expect.
Everybody has said, it was similar to what you said, that if you're in the cannabis industry, Spain and Barcelona is something you have to see to
Absolutely.
really understand.
Because it's a social club scene. The social club, you know the social club scene, right? Isn't that where the fuck we are?
I heard that they're the pioneers.
Absolutely, they totally are. And, you know, that scene is the dispensary and the coffee shop in Amsterdam together. You know what I'm saying? And depending on the owner, depending on the area in town, they're all different. They all have a different vibe. They all bring you a different flavor when you walk in the door. Hemp Quarters actually is one of my favorites, HQ. That place is really dope. And that's where a lot of the after parties are for Cannabis. But when you walk in there, it's got like glass ceilings. So it's
that's crazy.
It's lit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Literally, it's lit. And it has the vibe of like the Facebook campus, or if you go to the Nike campus, you know, it gives you that kind of feel. You know what I'm saying? It's pretty dope. And, you know, there's quite a few, but they're also going to be included in this.
That's crazy, man.
Word. But, you know, it started with the dinner, and we just did our first one January 16th. My bad.
Yeah,
and basically we did it 19th. We did it dedicated to Martin Luther King.
Nice.
We brought in a historian and a mixologist and a terp counselor. You know what I'm saying? So we match.
Terp counselor.
Yeah, we
That's
match
good. We
like
got
the foods,
you got a
because of
terp
course
counselor.
they're infused, but we match them and mesh them with the drinks. You know what I'm saying? And then the historian, she basically hipped us to what his favorite foods were. So we served Martin Luther King's favorite foods. Right. That is what we're using to launch the trip to Spain, because next month we're going to do it dedicated to Malcolm X. We're going to do it in Harlem on Malcolm X Boulevard. You know what I'm saying? In March, though, that dinner is in Spain. You know what I'm saying? Now, we haven't figured out who we're going to dedicate it to, but we know it's Women's Month.
Absolutely.
And it should have a Spaniard feel. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Wow, my voice is disappearing.
I get it. It's going to be crazy.
Tariq, it's time for the $1 million question.
$1 million question,
we
my
ask
brother.
every person that's ever been on the Boulevard on the HappyMunkey Podcast, interested to hear your take on it. If you had to describe HappyMunkey, the movement, the brand, everything you know about it in one word, what would that be?
Ooh, one word. Wow, one word.
I'll take two.
Damn. I'm stuck. There's so much I want to say. I want a mouthful. You know what I'm saying?
I'll take that. I'll take that for
You start off with the one word or two and then you elaborate.
Groundbreaking, trailblazing.
Groundbreaking, trailblazing. Nobody's ever used those. Why would you say that?
Because you're blazing a damn trail, bro. You know what I'm saying? Y'all are doing stuff that people are not doing in America. You know what I'm saying? Like the first time I went to Barcelona, I said, damn, I'm gonna bring this shit to America. I came back and y'all were doing it. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely say trailblazer for sure.
Shit, coming from you, brother.
It means a lot for somebody that sings so much and is so cultured and so well traveled like yourself, man. It's an honor that you see us in that
No
light,
doubt, man. This shit is very well deserved, man. You guys are doing incredible things. And I'm happy to even know the future and your vision. You know what I'm saying? I see it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm happy to know that it's happening in the steps and the way that you actually want it to happen. You know what I'm saying? Taking your time to do things and taking steps, not jumping out the window, not even creating haters. You know what I'm saying? Being very welcoming and warm and making this a place where people actually want to be. You know what I'm saying?
We have the mentality, Tarik, that we feel like the high tide raises all the boats, and we feel like we're all on the same boat. We're all on the same tide, just different boats. So we feel like, you know what I mean? It's all one big community, and everybody's trying to lift it to the top. So
No
it's
question.
Just like, you know, we're trying to, like you said, you know, spread the love and the exposure around equally, because what's good for everybody around us is good for us, because we're all on the same tide, you know?
No question.
On this cannabis boat, you know? Everybody's on this cannabis tide trying to see where it goes.
Of course. It's like the gold rush, so
Yeah, absolutely.
everybody's going after it.
So absolutely, brother. It's like I said from earlier, from the intro, man. It's my pleasure from having this brother here on the show with us. You know what I mean? I've been talking about you for a while, even before we had you on the podcast. Before all of this, you know what I mean? I'm like, yo, this is brother right here is how you supposed to do it. If you're gonna
a big
do
inspiration
it. You know
to
what I'm
us, man.
saying?
Appreciate
Man has
that.
always told me about you,
You know what I
before I
mean?
even met you.
Yeah,
No question.
so I was like, yo, this is a real pleasure having you on the show, brother. It's real dope. For also for the people listening, so for them to know who you are. If they didn't know, now they know. You know what I'm saying?
Indeed. I appreciate the platform. You guys are
Absolutely.
doing awesome stuff, man.
So definitely, brother, thank you. It was a pleasure having you here. I'm sure it's a pleasure for my brother Vladimir here.
No, it's an honor and a pleasure, man, to have a Harlem legend like yourself coming from where we come from.
Absolutely.
Look like we look, that has
Absolutely.
reached all these different points in the game and around the globe. You know what I mean? To have you here with us, you know, dropping jewels means a lot to us, man.
Absolutely.
Now, for all the people out there, we need you to tell them all the ways that they can find you, social media, otherwise, so like that they can keep track of where Tarik Budz and
Yes,
Peacemaker
sir.
will be in the future and what they're doing.
TarikBudz.com is actually up, but I haven't even told anybody. I'm still working on it, but you can actually catch me there for sure. You can catch me at on Instagram at Puzzle Marketing, PUZZLE MARKETING, or at Tarik Budz 2.0, TARIK BUDS 2.0.
Yes, sir, everybody.
So thank you again, brother, for blessing the Boulevard with your presence, because we know you could literally be anywhere in the world, and you're here with us, and we appreciate you, my brother.
One more round of applause for my man, Tarik Budz, everybody.
Thank y'all, man. It's a pleasure, man. I'm really happy to be here, man.
So everybody out there in Happy Monkey World, you know, as always, man, we wish you nothing but health, wealth, and happiness.
Hell yeah, man.
Stay
This was a
blessed,
good one.
people. Remember, you're too stretched to be blessed. Till the next episode, guys.
Peace.
What's good, everybody? This is your nigga Ralph, trying to keep you fresh with the info from Happy Monkey every single podcast. You already know what it is. If you haven't followed us yet, follow us on Instagram at HappyMunkey_ or Happy Monkey Goodies. Now remember, that's monkey with a U. Also, if you haven't checked us out, we're on YouTube. So check out our channel, Happy Monkey TV. Keep us current, live, and everything with the culture.